Okay, we're back. It's COMP123. It's lesson 12, week 12. Can you believe it? Part 1. And what I want you to do first is I want you to go up on eCentennial while we're talking and pull down this thing called Visual Studio Power Packs for VB Power Packs, right? Even though we're not doing VB, there's a really cool little power pack that'll help us print nice and easy. It'll be the easy way of printing as opposed to using it the long way. Right, because once you start doing printing, you'll probably handle that in part 3 of this course. You've done programming 3. That's when you'll do real printing. I want to show you kind of a print preview so you have a print button. So before you start Visual Studio, before you start that, I would pull down the VB Power Packs from eCentennial, right? Because you have to download and install that piece ahead of time. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you won't be able to follow along for the first part of what I'm going to talk about. So again, it's up on eCentennial, VB Power Packs. It's a zip file. Go look. And it should be under lesson 12 in your content section of your course. Lesson 12. You guys see it? So pull it down, unzip it, and then double click to install it. It'll install Power Pack to your Visual Studio 2013. So it's an extra module, and it gives us a little bit of functionality that helps us out. Actually, it used to be part of Visual Studio 2008, 2010, even 2012 had it, but now they took it away in 2013 and 2015. So it's a little bit of a few extra controls you can get that are very, very simple. Okay. Who's got it? Are you downloading and installing it? Yeah. You installing it? No? How come? Jesus, man. So what we're going to do is, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to talk about what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so again, we're week 13, so we're going to be talking about the print form, because you need the print form in order for you to do your print preview for your assignment number 6, right? I need to show you how to do that. So I just want you to incorporate that into assignment 6, and we'll practice doing one of those. I don't know if I'll get to all of this today, but I want to do displaying messages and message boxes. We talked about that briefly, how to use a message box for feedback, right? Because I want you guys to use your message boxes, almost like you're using your console, right? When you used to use console.log or console.writeline, you can do the same thing with message boxes, right? Message boxes allow you to kind of, push things out to the screen so you can do some debugging, right? Because when you're doing debugging with forms, it's hard to do. You can't use your console the same way you used to, right? So this will give you kind of feedback, right? And also from a user perspective for your error messages, when you tell the user things aren't working out, right, like they entered the wrong data, you want to use some kind of message box for now. So we'll talk about that, enhanced message boxes. We'll talk about how to share an event handler. So you've got all these event handlers that you've double-clicked and using these event handlers. How do you share one if you have the same function for like 3 or 4 things, right? How do we call these event handlers? Like calling a method, but we're going to show how to call these event handlers after you created them. Probably tomorrow we're going to hit menus. Probably going to talk about menus, how to put together a menu, and common dialog boxes, like different dialog boxes. Some context menus as well. How do you do context menus? And a couple of new controls, list boxes and combo boxes tomorrow, which are probably the most complicated controls that I've showed you to date. That's tomorrow, right? So that's list boxes and combo boxes. I might be able to get to that tomorrow. All right, so that's really what it is in a nutshell. And then next week we'll do a little bit of link and an intro to collections. And I'm also going to show you guys how to use the data grid view, which is going to be part of your assignment number 7, which I'm probably going to give you tomorrow, which will be your last assignment, which will be due week 14, right? And the reason why I'm giving you so many is because I want to reduce the week 14, instead of it being like 30% right now, it's kind of, your exam's 30, I want to make it 20. So that way it's not as, it won't hit you as hard, right? I don't want to hit you as hard, so I want to give you a chance. And now for the exam, if I give you an update for the exam, what I'm probably going to do, like I said, is day 1, which would be the Tuesday, I'll probably do a little test, little quiz with multiple choice, blah, blah, blah. And then day 2 would be more of like a practical for the next hour and a half. Okay, who's finished doing this VB Power Packs? You've installed it? Okay, good. For the people who are not here, you can catch up. Again, you can look up online. Put lesson 12. It's called UI Supplemental online in the content section of your course. Okay, so you've downloaded it, and now what I want you to do, and I'm just going to go there with you while I go through this. Of course. Yay! I love when things don't work. I love it. That's okay, because you know how it is. View, full screen. So I want it. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to pull up Visual Studio for a second, and we'll start off a new project for today. So I'm going to go to New Project. It'll be a new Forms application, and we'll call it COMP123, Lesson 12, Part 1. I don't know if we'll do Part 2 tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Okay, that'll do its thing. Meanwhile, I'll go up on GitHub, and I'll share this stuff with you so we're on the same page. That's important. COMP123, Lesson 12, Part 1. And I'm just going to go into this lesson here and go into Team Explorer, changes. I'm going to say created base BS C# Forms project. And go to home, want to say commits, and put my URL in. URI. Okay, cool. So you've done your form, and what I want you to do is here, I'm going to delete this thing, so we'll start over. So I'm going to go and kind of delete this tab. What I want you to do is I want you to go into this section here. Once you've got your Visual Studio Power Packs, I want you to right-click in here and go Add Tab. Add Tab, right? Again, you can follow along in the lesson online, the PowerPoint presentation. If you go Add Tab, it'll give you a little bit of space, and there'll be a space for you to name your tab. We're going to call this VB Power Packs, right? Enter. VB Power Packs. Now you get a space in here and it says there's no usable controls in this group. I'm just going to kind of clean this one up here. I'll kind of close this one up too. There's no visible controls. We're going to add those controls. We're going to right click on here and I'm going to go choose items. It's going to pull up this little dialog box. Right, give it a second to pull up everything. It should be under the .NET Framework Components tab, right? There's a .NET Framework Components tab. That's the one you want to pick. You don't want to pick the other ones. There's a bunch of other ones too, like Silverlight, and you'll see some different things on yours because your installation might be slightly different than mine. You want to filter this thing by putting the word power in here, power, right? And then you're going to see these, again, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different controls, right? Are you guys with me? Some of you came in late, so you guys are not with me. You guys have what? Okay, I'll back up. I'll cancel. I'm going to go do that with you. So again, let's go back to what I asked you to do. So for those people who came in late, install VB Power Packs. Download it from eCentennial. There's an actual zip file. I want you to unzip. I want you to get the executable. I want you to make sure that your Visual Studio 2013 is closed. And then I want you to install VB Power Packs from the installation online. So go do that now. For those people who haven't got it. Okay? Okay, once you do that, once you get to this and you've installed Visual Studio 2013 DB Power Packs for that, it'll take a few moments to do that. It's not that big. Then I want you to create a new tab, right, in the toolbox. Here's the toolbox on the left-hand side. I want you to create a new tab, and I want you to call it, and the way you do that is go Add Tab, right, Add Tab, and then I want you to call it VB Power Packs, right? After VB Power Packs, I want you to right-click and then say Choose Items. Choose Items, and this dialog box will come up. Okay? This big dialog box coming out. Take a few moments. It may take a few minutes for you guys to pull all this up because for me, I've already done this. What it's doing for you is indexing. It's creating references for all additional data sets and other kinds of controls that you don't have available to you. One day in Programming 3, from what I understand, you'll be creating your own controls. You got yours finally, right? All right. When you get this list like this, you go into the filter box over here and you put in the word power, right? That'll filter down to the power packs that you need. So just put the word in power in here. Power, right in the filter. You get 2 extra ones? Awesome. Put them all in, man. That's it. So once you put the power, you just check all these boxes over here like this. Check the boxes, right? And once you check these boxes, right, you press OK. Click OK. When you click OK, it adds the power packs right here. So put power in there in the filter. Check the boxes, all those boxes. You might see a different set of options than I do. Don't worry. Check them all. And then put it in there. Yeah, check them all. Under power, where it says, well, if you filter, you get only the ones from power packs, right? Filter and put it in. You guys see those?
We have different ones.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just put them in. Just put them in. Can't tell the difference. Are we good? All right, so when you do that, you get this extra little thing inside of your, on the left-hand side here. See this on the left-hand side? Well, this is good, right? Because what this allows us to do is we have a couple new controls here on the left. So if I want to draw a line, like before you couldn't draw a line, right? Now you can. If I drag and drop a line across here, right, I can actually draw a line on my form. And I can, what it allows me to do is, you know, to separate my form, to pretty it up, I can make more than one line here. I'll put another one in there. See, I can put another line. Here's my line, another line. You can play with your form and put new lines. An oval, right? So I want to put an oval on the form, right? Some kind of circle. You can do different things, draw on it, right? But I don't care about that stuff so much, honestly. I just put it in there because I need the print form. So if you go to print form, that's the one I need. I'm just going to take all these other things out right now. So I'm just going to delete them. I will delete them, I said. I'll put just a line and everything and delete out everything. Delete. Yeah, it's my Mac. Don't worry about you. Okay, so this form here. So what do we do with the first thing when we get a form? What do we do with it? Rename it. Good, you guys are getting it now. And we're going to call this the print form because we're going to make a print form with it, right? So we're going to call it right-click, rename. We'll call this print form. That's yes. Says, hey, do you want to refactor everything, Tom? And I say yes. Okay, cool. We got this little print form. I want to see the properties because in my print form itself, I want to change what appears on the title bar here. So I want to change this thing to print form. All right. Not changing the size right now. I also want to change the start position to center screen. So center screen, right? And I want to go to Common Controls on the left-hand side here, Common Controls, and pull down a button. And put it in the middle of the form somewhere. Just so that we keep on track of what we've done before, I want to rename this button on the top. Rename this button the print button. Right? That's what it is. And I want to change the font size to 14. Now yours might look a little different than mine because, and of course down here in the bottom I want to change from button 1 so it says print. Right here, make it a little smaller. There it is, so somewhere in the middle. Okay, to make it interesting, because we have these power packs here, I'm going to take an oval shape. Here's my oval shape here. I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to make it into a circle, right? I'm going to change this circle. If I go to the size property of the circle on the oval shape, it's going to be, let's say, I don't know, 150 by 150. See if I can fit that in. Yes. I'm going to put that above, move that thing above the print form somehow. So it's going to be like a big circle. There we go. Yay. I haven't changed the size of the form. Let me test this thing out right now and see what it looks like. Boom. It's right in the middle. Looks like this. All right, you guys get this? Right? Okay, I'm going to stop that for a second. Now we want to wire up this print form. Well, let's go back to the PowerPoint because there's a few instructions I want to show. We've kind of gone by this piece here. If you follow the directions in the PowerPoint presentation, it'll tell you how to do this if you couldn't follow along, right? All right, now I want to add the print button. But first, before we do that, what I want to do is I want to drag, go back down to VB Power Packs and drag this print form onto the form like this. Look, see this print form control here in the VB Power Packs? I want to take it and drag it onto somewhere on the form. Click, and if you notice down here, this other control comes down, but it's not like a regular control we've seen before. It's not a control that's visible. It's almost like a library that belongs to the form, and they come down here, these little libraries. See, right? So we did this before, but we did with another kind of control. That's why I've changed it up. So print form 1 is what we're looking for. Print form 1 is what should be there, and this is a special print form control, right? Now, I certainly can rename this, but I'll leave it the same way for now. We're not going to rename this control, and I'll show you why. Because the form is called print form. You know, everything's print form, right? So let's leave this as print form 1. A couple of things to also notice. I did not give a name to the oval that I put on the screen. I could have, right? But I'm not really going to do anything with it, so I'm leaving it alone. Here's the code that I need you to put in. Okay, so in order for you to get this event handler, you're going to double click on the print button. Let's do that. Double click on the print button, which is going to take us to this form over here. And I'm just going to unclip these things for a second so you get maximum viewable area. Oh. It looks like this. This is a print button. The print button to click right here, right? Well, because we put that print form in there, right, we should be able to do something like this. Print form 1.print action. So let's start typing. Print form 1. Here it is. Here's our print form 1. That's a control. It's a library more than anything else. Almost like a hidden control for our printing. And then .print action. Let's do that. .print action equals to. And if you notice, without me touching anything, right, all I said was equals to. IntelliSense comes up with system.drawing.printing.print action. I want you to click that, right? That's part of it. Here's that part. And we want to add .print to preview. Print to preview. Right, there it is. That is what this thing does. So basically when we click on the button, the print action is printing to preview. Right? I need one more line. Print form 1.print. So print form 1.print. And that's all you need, my friends, for your assignment number 6. Okay? So I want to give you that right now. So you have everything you need for your print button. Let's check this, try this out. Let's see if it works. Right, this little control here. So I'm going to run this thing, right? And I'll put kind of squeeze it down here so you guys can still see the code. And if I click print, oh, this little print preview comes up. And if you notice here, it shows me in the little corner what my form looks like, my print form. That's all I want you guys to do with yours. See the same thing? So we're not really doing a complicated print job here, right? So that's why I got you to use Visual Basic Power Packs. Not because I really care so much about the Power Packs. It's an old thing. It's an old control set that was included in Visual Studio 2008, 2010, 2012. Not included in Visual Studio 2013. I think Microsoft said We don't need these controls, right? And I didn't include them, but you can certainly download them. I just happen to do it for you, and I put it up on eCentennial so you have it, right? Instead of you going to search for it and trying to find Visual Basic Power Packs and how to install it for 2013, I gave you the know-how on how to do that. Any questions around this piece? All right, so that's your print in a nutshell. Like, want to print, click, you click the print button, and then we're good to go. Right, if I click it again, if you notice, it comes up. I haven't printed. If I actually click this button, that'll actually print. Right, we don't want that because typically, you know, for applications these days, we don't print anything, right? Ever. But sometimes, you know, your employer will want you to make kind of some kind of print form. Now, this doesn't do anything. This is a circle. It's printing a circle, right? You can make it as interesting as possible. If you add this on to assignment number 6, then it'll show the form for assignment 6. The whole form will print out with everything in it, right? So that's really what it's all about. Any questions around that?
There's a scroll function like inside the printing area, like there's a scroll, will it print the whole thing?
Let me try that again. Sure. If I click this, mean what? Like if there's more inside here that's not printing? Like what do you mean?
So like the print form,
Yeah.
There's a scroll option where you have text and all that.
Oh, in here?
Not here, but in the
In here?
yeah,
Whatever is in here that's visible.
only visible.
Yeah. It won't show stuff that's invisible. Like if you got stuff that's in somewhere you've hidden or whatever, it's not going to show
It's
at
not
all.
hidden, I mean, there's a scroll option.
Yeah, but it's scrolled away. It's not scrolled. It's not visible at that particular time. I don't believe it'll print that part. It'll only print what's visible. That's why it's print preview. Very simple, very simple form. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. That covers this first section I want to talk about, and that's all you need for assignment 6. Please download and install VB Power Packs if you haven't done it already, and add that functionality to assignment 6. Questions before I shut this one down? All right.